So today we're meeting with Julia, who is a therapist here at Therapy Utah, and we're going to talk to her a little bit and get some questions answered about therapy and why therapy, and why it's important and what a client can expect. So Julia, why don't you tell us a little bit about why would a client come to therapy? What can a client expect in therapy?
That's such a great question, Lindsay. And if I can, I'd just like to use an example. I injured my ankle about 1.5 years ago, really seriously. And I ended up having to have surgery. Then I was in a cast, then I was in a boot. And after I came out of the boot and put on a shoe for the first time, I was in excruciating pain.
Sure.
But the thing that surprised me was it wasn't the location where I had the surgery that hurt. It was actually the other side of the ankle. And I went into physical therapy, and they did all the measurements and stuff, and the physical therapist had me walk, and then he was like, he didn't literally use these words, but he was like, "You're walking really weird." Like over 1.5 years of all of those things happening, I just developed these habits of motion in my foot where muscles were being used in a different way. I was overcompensating and undercompensating in ways that made walking just excruciating. And if you've done physical therapy, then I saw him a whole bunch at the beginning, and then it got more spaced out, but I had these exercises to do. He had tools to use to help me, and it wasn't immediate at all, but over time it started to feel more comfortable, and then I started to get back to my natural life, and now I'm doing all the stuff that I love to do again, and it feels good. There was this process.
Yes.
And yeah.
Wonderful. Well, congratulations on your foot or your ankle feeling better and getting back to normal life.
Yeah.
But I love what you said about compensating. That it really, when there was something that was wrong, you utilized other muscles or other tendons to compensate. But it took some pain to go through it to get back to where you wanted to be.
Yeah, and don't you think that's what happens, Lindsay, with us, with our mental health too?
Absolutely. Yes, we have to go through the pain, and change can be painful.
Yeah. And a lot of times it's the pain that tells us, well, you developed these methods of coping with something that was going on in your life, but now they're not serving you anymore. They're actually causing you pain.
Right.
And for me, what mental health therapy is about is the therapist has the tools to come in and diagnose. Oh, this is what's going on. It's not like giving you a diagnosis, but just saying, here's what's going on. Here's how things have changed. And here are some tools that I have that could help you fix that.
I love that. Well, thank you so much for that analogy. And it's so helpful to think about the process and that sometimes there's some pain involved, but that at the end of the day, we're going to walk better and feel better, right? With your leg, walk better, but we're going to feel better after we go through some of that process. So really appreciate that idea of why we come to therapy, what we can expect, and kind of the process of it. Thanks, Julia.